Hey guys, Quick and Quizzer here, back again with another Battlefront 2 video. In this video I'm going to be showing you kind of my gameplay guide, my strategy guide for Maul. I did a leveling guide for Darth Maul as well, but this is going to be, if you want to see that, check that out. It'll probably be in the description or something, but this is going to be like how to rule as Maul, how to freaking destroy as Maul in the game, like whilst you're playing, basically. Not how to level them up, but how to like just destroy. In the background you're going to see Heroes vs Villains gameplay that I got right before I started recording this, audio. I did quite well. That was like an average match for me, I think. But first and foremost, never stop moving. Maul is like a super, like just mobile, agile villain. You really do not want to stop moving as Maul. You always want to be on the move because he's so agile. He's such a hard target and such a hard person to pin down. When he does get pinned down, though, he's incredibly destructive. But still, stay on the move because obviously he's got no block ability against blaster fire, so obviously stay on the move. Saber dash, which is on right bumper or R1 if you're on PlayStation 4, you'll see me use it constantly. This match in the background just made me laugh so much because everyone was falling off the edge. But you'll see me use Saber dash quite a lot. Saber dash is not just useful for attacking, it is also super useful for chasing, fleeing troopers or heroes, and also for evading, blaster fire, or even closing the gap between you and an enemy. Very effective. Maul actually has the highest lightsaber stamina in the game, so don't be afraid to just attack relentlessly without stopping. Just constantly attack, as long as you're being accurate with it. Just constantly attack. His stamina really will never run out. He's got like easily the highest stamina of any lightsaber hero in the game, at least to date. Maybe Grievous will have higher, I don't know, or Anakin Skywalker, but he's got a very high lightsaber stamina, so like I said, attack relentlessly. Lightsaber throw is Maul's only ranged ability, so it makes sense to really get used to it and get good with it, and also upgrade it. Like I said, did a Maul upgrade video showing you how to properly upgrade him to make him super powerful, and I talked about the lightsaber throw ability quite a bit in that video. Again, check that out. It'll probably pop up at the screen at some point as well. Lightsaber throw is also the only ability that Maul can use mid-air, so it is extra important. He can't use his dash, saber dash, or force choke mid-air. So lightsaber throw, only thing you can use mid-air, so it's super useful because if you get caught whilst you're mid-air, obviously you need something to attack. So, like I said, get used to that. Try and focus on that as much as you can. Also, don't rely on Maul's evade ability on B and left trigger. That's if you're on Xbox. It will be circle or L2 if you're on PS4. Don't rely on it. It's really crappy. The cooldown time is like really long, and his evade maneuver isn't even very effective. He doesn't roll, he doesn't move, he just sort of like kind of like classily dashes to the side. The reason it's not very effective is because you don't really travel very far. And it also interrupts his sprinting, his abilities, and his attack. So it's pretty useful, pretty useless. If you're sprinting and then you dash, it's going to stop sprinting, and there'll be like a cooldown time before you can start sprinting again. Very annoying, it really is. Also, you can't use it very regularly. It's not like a roll. It's not like a combat roll. Combat roll in this game is super useful. Maul's dash ability, not very useful. What you should focus on, instead focus on, is jumping and his lightsaber dash when you want to evade an enemy, and as neither of these interrupt sprinting or attacking, so if you use lightsaber dash on the right bumper or just jump, it's not going to stop you from sprinting or attacking. Also, jumping, Maul's got the highest jump in the game, so maybe rely on like jumping a lot. He's super mobile in terms of force jumps. Use high sensitivity. I'm playing with 40% sensitivity, which isn't high in terms of 100% compared to like 80% or something, but it is pretty damn high. And as you can see in the gameplay, it's very sensitive. It's really twitchy and very sensitive. Maul's extremely fast and agile, but playing with sensitivity lower than 35% will slow him down, and it will prevent you from using him to his highest potential because he's so fast. Playing with anything lower than like 35% or even 40%, it will slow you down. So definitely get used to it because it's really helpful for any hero, really, but especially Maul. Don't mash right trigger or attack blindly. Constantly pressing the right trigger whilst playing with Maul or any lightsaber hero, it'll make you miss a lot of enemies and a lot of hits that you could have actually hit them. It'll make you miss a lot of times. It's not accurate, and you're just gonna like be swiping the air. Slow your attacks down slightly, and make sure that you are always facing the enemy, and that your lightsaber is always gonna line up with them, and you're actually gonna make the strike and hit the strike. Much more useful to do that. Now, use zigzag sprinting to avoid enemy fire and close the gap between you and an enemy, or even just escape. Now, how you do this is you sprint towards or away an enemy, or away from an enemy, and rapidly look left to right repeatedly whilst moving. Now, it's super useful, this ability, well, this method, very useful, but only if you've got high sensitivity. If you're rocking with low sensitivity, it won't be very useful, because you're just going to, like, slowly look left to right. It's not going to be useful. So rock with high sensitivity. And make it a much harder target, and like I said, good for escaping, good for closing the gap between you and an enemy. Never attack an enemy here if they have backup close by. Maul is like an assassin interceptor based villain and specializes at singling out an enemy and taking him out fast and discreetly. He's not Vader. He can't take out 3 enemies at once. He's very good, but only when you're sort of 1v1. Don't 1v2 or 1v3 or anything, certainly don't 1v4. Stay away from open areas. Maul is incredibly good at close range, but awful at long range, as he only has one ranged ability, lightsaber throw, and it doesn't even travel very far, so don't go anywhere open, basically. And like I said, about Vader, don't play him like Vader. Too many people apply the same tactics with Maul as they do with Vader or Luke. It's really bad because Maul has very low starting health and lacks any defensive powers or abilities. The best thing to do, play him to his own playstyle, play him to his own strength. Fast, deadly, agile, kind of like an assassin. He's not Vader, he's not a sort of a slugging it out in a fight type person. Use this gameplay tactic against heroes. You'll see this in most of the video gameplay. Saber dash an enemy, rapidly spin around, saber dash again, and then repeat again. It seems very simple, but I don't see anyone use it as Maul. This attack method, it's very hard to defend against because you'll be attacking from multiple sides, from different sides. It's really good for taking away a chunk of their health before they have a chance to counterattack or retaliate. So yeah, just saber dash them, spin around. Once you've saber dashed them, spin around, hit them again, spin around, hit them again. You'll see me do it in tons of this gameplay in the background. Very good. And it's neglected. It seems simple, but it's really, really neglected. If you fight against infantry, do the same thing, but instead of just constantly hitting them with the dash attack, with the the lightsaber dash attack, do one lightsaber dash attack and spin around and just hit them with a normal attack. It's really good for taking them out, taking infantry out. Speaking of infantry, pay attention to what class they are. Maul can kill specialists with one hit due to their low starting health, but heavies and assault class users take several more hits to take down. It's just useful to know when you're engaging them and you're about to fight them, if you're going to be able to take them out with one hit, especially if there's multiple enemies. If there's multiple enemies, but they're all specialists, it's going to be easy to take them out. Maul's Force Choke is especially useful for throwing heroes off the map in heroes versus villains. It is the most accurate force push in the game and throws enemies very far. That's it. I hope they were useful. If you enjoyed the video or find it interesting or helpful at all, leave a like. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you all in the next video.